Alright, you guys, I do not think our curriculum has been that heavy when I'm holding it up to take that thumbnail photo in a while. So today I'm going over our language arts picks for the 2025 to 2026 school year. I am going to have a preschooler, a third grader, and a seventh grader. And I am very excited for this upcoming year. This is a collaboration hosted by myself and Devine over at Calm in the Chaos Homeschool. You'll be able to find the playlist down below in the description bar, so make sure you check it out when you are done with this video. Go see what all of the mamas are using. I'm gonna straighten this out for a second so I don't get anything confused. First, I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to use for my preschooler. I've said it in a few videos now, but I'll say it again just in case you're new here. I'm not planning on doing anything too formal with him. I am getting him curriculums, but my approach with him is going to be very slow and at his pace. So we're going to take it however slow or fast he wants to take it. One of the things that I learned with my now third grader is I wish I would have started her a little later, just until, you know, she was like really ready. I took it at her pace, but I feel like I just started too soon with her because we started preschool around 4 years old. And I feel like it just would have been better if I had just played with her and read to her and not been so focused on like, you need to know your numbers and you need to know your letters. And so she's thriving and she's doing really well, but I just feel like she was so little, you know? And now that I'm a more seasoned homeschool mom, I don't feel the pressures of, you know, being new and I have to succeed, like I have to show, you know, my worth basically and, you know, how well they're learning. So if you're new, like if you're a new homeschool mom, don't carry the weight of the world and your children's education on your shoulders. Yes, it's this monumental task that we carry, right? But it's okay to also delay it a little bit. So you don't have to start right away, depending on their age, obviously. I say that because I wish I would have heard somebody say that, you know, like when your child is 4, 5, even 6, like you don't have to start right away. You can let them just enjoy being a child. And, you know, it's also been well studied that children tend to thrive as they get a little older and they do better being introduced to education at a later age. So my whole approach with him is going to, yes, introduce him to these things, see what he takes to and what he's not necessarily ready for. So I say that before I show you guys anything, okay? So the first thing I got is The Good and the Beautiful, their pre-writing doodle book. This is all just, you know, following the lines. I figured this would be very fun for him. It's a low-key activity that he can do when I need to take some time to help the big kids, and he gets his own little book that he can have fun with and color in while his siblings are doing their work, and he can just, you know, feel a part of our day. Now the next thing I'm super excited about, and I can't wait to show you guys like all of it in depth, is the Gentle and Classical Preschool Kit. You guys, this set is like chef's kiss. It is so good, so beautiful. I haven't fully put it together yet because I'm planning a review for you, but it has like beautiful flashcards. Hopefully my camera will adjust. There's little songs that are printed on beautiful cards. And there's a lot of them, you guys. What else is there? There's some ABC flashcards. Let me open them real quick. But, you know, like you get like these beautiful, you know, Q is for Queen. And then you get some numbers in there. S is for Skunk. And then you also get an art and music set. And then some little morning time binder activities. And then an activity and handicraft guide. So there will be lots of crafts that I get to work in with him. So I am super, super excited about this set. It's a mix of classical and Charlotte Mason approaches, and this is just a idea of like the teacher's guide. It gives you the information on each one, memory statements explained, information on like the different units. So it seems really fun and not, you know, super formal or anything like that. It seems like he's gonna learn a lot, but he's gonna learn a lot through play and beautiful pictures and gorgeous activities and hands-on crafts and things like that. So I'm really, really, really excited to use this. I didn't use anything like this when my third grader was in preschool. I kind of just printed off things and put things together myself, but I'm really excited to have a kit that just comes with everything, and it's all so lovely. And so, and a lot of it, I could be wrong, but a lot of it looks like it can be reused for my baby. So don't take that as gospel. I haven't fully sat down to review it yet, but when I got it, I opened the box and I was like, it's kind of like when you open up your IEW package and you're just like, this is elegance. So I'm really excited to be using this set. The next thing, we will move on to my third grader. She is going to be using handwriting level 3 from The Good and the Beautiful. And this one is introducing cursive. And she has been watching her brother make his way through cursive all this year, and she's like trying to like copy what she sees him doing, and it's like the cutest thing. So I know she's going to be very excited to start her journey on cursive. Hopefully my camera is picking those pages up. The next thing, her and my almost seventh grader, their handwriting is starting to just get a little sloppy. And so they're both going to be using The Good and the Beautiful's level 2 handwriting books that basically just goes over print. I want my kids to have very nice handwriting, or at least legible handwriting. It doesn't need to be like that beautiful calligraphy where it just looks, you know, super elegant, but I want it to at least be legible. Okay, in nursing school, I had a friend, we had to write out our care plans. And if you guys know anybody who's a nurse and you know what care plans look like, they are like 9 to 12 pages long. They are extremely long and very important to your nursing school success when you're in clinicals. And we had to write them all by hand. You could not erase anything. So if you messed up on like the end of the paper, you were writing in pen, you had to go restart the entire thing. You were not allowed to scratch it out. You were not allowed to use whiteout. And one of my friends, I just remember watching him, his writing was like chicken scratch. And so he had to constantly redo these 9 to 12 page long care plans. And so I just think of him every time my children, like when I'm looking at my children's writing and I'm like, no, I'm going to drill nice writing into you now so that you will one day maybe thank me for the elegant writing that you have. And so we're gonna probably work our way through these books over the summer, just because I want to drive home. Like, you need to have legible writing. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it needs to be legible. The last thing that I am going to be using for my third grader is we are going back to MasterBooks. So she is going to be using language lessons for a living education, and I am so excited to do this book with her. It has been so nostalgic in a way because my 7th grader used MasterBooks for 2nd and 3rd grade. So some of the assignments that she's using, I'm like, oh, I remember doing that with Noah. And it's just been filled with precious moments. And we didn't use this one this year. She used a mix of IEW, All About Reading, and And I think that was it. No, and she did spelling connections and an Evan Moore grammar and punctuation. And I might still purchase some Evan Moore books. I'm not completely sure. But for the most part, I'm going to go through language lessons for living education with her and just kind of see how she does and see if she needs any extra reinforcements. If she does, then I'll purchase the Evan Moore books, or I might just purchase them over the summer. We'll see. I'm kind of just playing it by ear. The last thing that I'm going to be using for her, and I totally forgot to pull it for you guys, is All About Reading Level 3. I already have it. You guys, I am so ahead for next year. I am so proud of myself. I already have this all prepped. It took me about 4 days to prep the way that I prep it. If you guys want to see how I prep All About Reading, I will link it up here. It is intense, but it is sturdy. And I am planning to use this with at least 3 children. Maybe 4 if God permits us to have another child. But I already have this prepped for next year. And dare I say, it didn't take me as long as the previous levels have. So I don't know if this one just doesn't have as much as level 1 and 2, or if I've just gotten into my own rhythm over the years. But we have loved using All About Reading. It is filled with lots of fun little reading games and flashcards, and my daughter just absolutely loves it. I don't know if we will use level 4, just because honestly I'm kind of tired of prepping it. I'm still debating that. I think we'll see how she's doing in reading when she's done with this one, and then I'll determine, like, okay, we're either done with, you know, doing All About Reading, or we'll progress to the 4th level. For those of you who have used all 4 levels, what did you think of level 4? Did you feel the need for it, or did you just kind of, you know, feel like you were going through the motions because you had already done the first 3 levels? I'm still weighing it, you know, because it's just, I know I can use it with all of my kids, but I'm just like, oh, the price and then the amount of time that it takes to prep, I don't know if I want to buy a 4th level. I'm so in between what to do. So the last thing for my 7th grader, I have the majority of his, but not all of them. So like I mentioned, he is going to be using the level 2 handwriting, just because I really want to drive home the nice penmanship, or at least the legible penmanship. But as far as cursive, we are going to be using Cursive Logic, Speeches and Writings in American History. I have a full review and flip through on this if you want to see it. I'll try to remember to link it above and below down in the description bar. But this is famous American speeches that they basically copy in cursive. And so you get some information on the speech, you get to read the speech, and then it will either have you copy the entire speech that day, or it will break it up into 2 or 3 parts that you copy. And I thought that this would be a great way for him to not only work on his cursive, but to learn a little bit of history along the way as well. So he'll be doing that. And then we are going to be using IEW level 2A, and I am super excited about this one. My son did the first one. He absolutely loved it. We love IEW so very much. I will do a look inside of this one, just because I know that sometimes IEW can be very intimidating. For the longest time, I avoided IEW. I avoided co-ops that used IEW. I heard so many stressful things about it, like, oh, the first year you're gonna cry and puke. And I'm like, why would I want to do that? And so we completely avoided it. And then I went to a homeschool convention. And I'm going to tell this story probably until the day I die, okay? So if you've already heard it, then you can feel free to fast forward. But I went to a homeschool convention and I heard Andrew Pudawa talk, and it was talking about what writing should be and how it should be introduced to children. And I was like, yes, this is exactly what I'm looking for. And so at that point, I had already had 2 curriculums purchased because I was kind of going in between, like, oh, should we use this one or should we use this one? And I was set on one of them. And when I heard Andrew Pudawa's talk, I was like, nope, I'm ditching both of those curriculums. We are going to use IEW. So I went to the IEW stand. I got set up with everything that we needed. He did level 1A, and it was the best choice I could have made. My son at that point was a very reluctant writer. He kind of struggled. At one point he was in public school and he hated writing because of the way that they taught it and the way that they drove it into them. And then when we first started homeschooling, he was really enjoying it, and then we switched curriculums. He started hating it again, and since we have been with IEW, he, dare I say, I think it's his favorite curriculum. To the point where I'm going to go to the homeschool convention this year, and Andrew Pudawa is going to be there, and my son is begging me. He is begging me to let him go so that he can meet Andrew Pudawa in person. And I think that that would just be so completely fun. And so he's going to be using that for his writing. For grammar, we are going to be sticking with Fix-It Grammar. He is going to be on level 3, which is Robin Hood. And then he is going to be finishing up Phonetic Zoo, I believe level B. He's still trying to work his way through that. And I really love the way that Phonetic Zoo takes their approach to spelling. It's all audio. So they give your child a word, they write it on a piece of paper, and then at the end, they go and listen to the correction audio and they correct it themselves. And they can't move forward in it until they've gotten 100% twice in a row. And so he has loved that. I have loved it. And we are slowly but surely making our way through level B. So I think that is everything that I have for language arts. Let me know down below what you are using. I would love to hear it. I always love getting introduced to the curriculums that you guys are using. Don't forget to check out the playlist. Next week, I believe we will be doing our family subjects curriculum picks. So make sure that you hit that red subscribe button, check that video out. Make sure that you give this video a big thumbs up. I will have all of these curriculums linked down below in the description bar in case you want to check any of them out. And that is it. I will see you guys again later. Bye.